Hello, good evening. You're watching A New Way of Being hosted by Avatar Lecture on YouTube Live. I am here to speak to you about some problems that we're having. I went to the United States with my family and we ended up in the United States jail for no reason. We did not commit any crimes. But I believe the real crime is that we were African, and that's one of the reasons that this took place. Um, Next thing I knew, maybe a few weeks later, my mom came to see me to see my new baby. Her name is Mahogany, and when my mother came, Nancy Pelosi came out and shouted to Mr. Trump and Mr. Trudeau to kill my family, kill them, she said, and that's what they did. Or kill my family. Sorry, my mistake. I After I found out that I did not want to live in the United States because Nancy Pelosi was using the police in the United States to kill out people of color, like African people, um, males and females. I don't know about the rest, or else I'd be lying if I did say that they were killed out. Other people were killed out too, but people of color were being killed out. And I went and took my shower, got ready, and went to Canada. And while I was escaping to Canada, Nancy Pelosi shouted out, kill her, telling the Prime Minister to kill me. He didn't kill me, as a matter of fact. He treated me, I did not know who he was. He probably did not know who I was. But he was being told to kill me. And I ended up in Canada. I can't remember the whole story. If I did say anything about some of that, I don't want to tell lies. I want to make sure the truth is said. And I came to Canada and got to meet my new husband, and we got married. And he's the one I had the baby for. And if you could give me some hints, I forgot quite a few things. But
that led to damage done to the capillaries brain, causing you to not have access to.
Oh yes, thank you. This is one of the things that happened. My memory was wiped out by Trump, President, oh, Donald Trump. Sorry, and
attacking.
He started attacking different parts of my body, the head, everywhere in the head, using something like an electric knife that seemed sort of shadowy, and he was jabbing it in the back of my head. I was feeling extreme pain, but the manner in which he was doing it appeared like electric light was coming out with the knife when he pulled it out. And he kept doing that at different times. I did not know who this man was. All I knew is that while I was in the United States, I ended up in a jail that I did not even commit any crime to be in. And then Nancy Pelosi shouting to kill out my family. And they did that. And then when I decided to come to Canada, they shouted to kill me. And then when I came to Canada, I forgot again. I have memory problems because of what Donald Trump has done to my memory. And my husband is the one who accused me, and because before that happened, I gave him all the information, and he was seeing a lot of what I was speaking about taking place anyway.
As a verbal
Well, I was called a I was a verbal martial artist before. My conversations was concise, respectful, and I spoke about things that were being done to me and why I came to Canada, but I couldn't remember after a while. All I know is that I was being given this room to sleep in, and when I went and slept in that room in Canada, I can't even remember where. The next thing I knew is that I was sleeping, and I get up in the morning, and I felt as if different parts of my body was hurting. I couldn't understand that because was never ill before, and my body never had this kind of problem or any problems at all. So I went to, and I ended up in another room or another place. I can't remember everything, so please excuse me. I do remember that another place that I stayed, same problem. Somehow, in the middle of the night, I felt something or someone attacking my head and my back, my body, sorry. Um, I still did not understand. We ended up in another room. That's when I met my husband, and we ended up, he got a place, rented a place and for us to stay, and I was being attacked there too. And apparently, the person that was attacking me, I found out now that it was Donald J. Trump who was doing all of this damage to me. But what I found out also 2 years ago is that I met Nancy Pelosi at the White House in the United States. At least I thought so. My husband said it was, huh?
In New York. You lived in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, but I was passing. Well, maybe he said it's not the White House, so maybe I'm mistaken. But it appeared to me that was the White House because that's where Nancy Pelosi called and was speaking to me and said she's working with her family there, and they are running the government, and so she was going to go back, and she was really nice, and I enjoyed her company and what she had to say. But after a period of time, I did not even know where she was staying anymore, so I just moved on and looked for a job, got a job, lived my life to a certain degree, but I found that I was being attacked anyway. And after a period of different jobs and men coming on to me, and so I wasn't very pleased because I'm not interested in being played with by men. I see how females are being used and abused, and I wanted no part of that. And so I was meeting up all kinds of different people, and it appeared like they just wanted to get to know me, and I did not mind getting to know them, but I felt something wasn't right with what was happening because that never happened to me before in my life. Anyway, I don't remember the whole story. What I can tell you is that after a period of time, I was being attacked and abused by Donald J. Trump, and he was abusing my body while I was sleeping in different places, as I said, even as I went further into other places and got a place to stay. I was going through this stuff. And so my mother and the rest of my family never got to see their granddaughter and their aunt or uncle, but they ended up dead. And because of me hearing, and I'm psychic to some degree, and when I heard Nancy Pelosi saying, "Kill the whole family, kill them," yeah, they killed the whole family. I uh, couldn't believe that it would be my family, but I felt that it was somebody else's family until I found out that the people that they killed were my family, and that my mother, who came to see her granddaughter first, she couldn't see her granddaughter, and she had to go. I thought go back to Trinidad, but I started realizing that they said they killed my family, and I thought, no, they made a mistake. They're lying, or they're just creating that. But afterwards, I discovered that my mom was gone, and one of my brothers, and the only sister I had, and my father, and that's how what was taking place. And when I came to this place, I found out that Nancy Pelosi gave Donald Trump this technology, and that technology was to abuse me. He has to use to do me in whichever way I guess they were going to. He started making lines at the side of my face. He took teeth out from my mouth, took a one from the back and pull it here so that it will push my one side of my lip out. Started doing other things to my hair, cut it all off. My hair was past my waist. He cut it off. He did that to our daughter, but her hair is a little longer than um, it's shorter than how it was before, but it was longer than mine is. Mine is no hair. The sides are completely cut out, and he was doing that on a regular basis every night. And then I was also experiencing a lot of attacks on my body, mostly the joints, the lower back, the shoulders, the breast, the mouth, making created two holes on this teeth. The only one he left behind, the rest of them he took out, except for one here and one on the top and one at the bottom. He left that there in order so that they will jam together if I try to chew on that side. And when I eat on this side, he uses the technology to make me feel extreme pain while I'm eating. So, and I still sometimes try to eat because I need food in my body and I have to protect my life. And he started coming with things to throw inside of my eyes, just like that. When they talk about COVID-19, that's when I started going through this type of stuff where he would come and throw this dust in my eyes and more on more shards, as my husband was saying. And more, as time went on, I noticed that I couldn't see the writing. All the writings that they had was so small that I couldn't read them. I couldn't see them. Oh, and I did not like the academics anyway. And I was glad that I didn't when I realized that how I was being treated. These are the people who went through the universities and the other schools and so on. And they were supposed to be highly intelligent, and they're not. Their intelligence is only academics. It's nothing to do with the quality of life for anybody or everybody. What they do is they selfishly go and attack and abuse people, like I was all through my life in Canada and in the United States. Steal my clothes, steal my shoes, steal the things that I buy when I work and make my money. I buy my little things. I don't go stealing. I still don't. Um, stealing my anything that I buy, and I couldn't understand why it was happening, where it was coming from. And I remember that in the United States, that same thing was happening. They were stealing my things, my clothes, my money, my shoes, the things that I buy for my hair or that I make for my hair, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes one would be returned, or sometimes two or more will be returned, but not all the time. And they were doing a whole lot of stuff that I can't remember right now because of the memory wipeout that I've received from Mr. Trump. He has been attacking my head, and I told him if he continue attacking my head, I'm going to charge him separately from Nancy Pelosi, because what they have done to myself, our daughter, rape our daughter, and they didn't seem to mind, Mr. Trump and Mr. Trudeau. And then what Mr. Trump did was started stealing her money and or rather taking it away from her, and then carrying her to places late in the night while we're sleeping. And we think our daughter is in the beds resting because that's where we saw her before we go to bed. And only to find out that he was taking her out 2 o'clock in the morning or even earlier in the night after 12, and going to buy all kinds of food and stuffing her with it and forcing her, and she's scared. So, and that time she was much younger, and she did not know how to protect herself. So
she's been used as a
he was
Manchurian
using her as a Manchurian candidate
and as a Trojan horse.
and as a Trojan horse to force feed her, to steal whatever they want. And when my daughter came calmly once and told me, "Mom, I'm being mistreated, and I believe that this person that is doing this is force feeding me with using my money to force feed me with food in different places that he forced me to go out. And apparently he was using this technology that he held up to have her do whatever he wants, and she would do what he's thinking. That's the same technology that Nancy Pelosi gave him. And he was using that technology to abuse my daughter, our daughter, to rob her of her rights to think and say yes or no to herself. If she doesn't like people, what is being done to her, she was terrorized and raped. And these are the things that were being done, and they didn't stop there. They started coming to wherever we moved to, and attack and abuse, terrorize unseen. He has the technology to do that. Yes, go ahead.
No, talk about the time that you first saw this person sitting on the side of our bed that night, and it was wearing, you accidentally touched the shoulder of this unseen being.
Yes, but I can't remember everything. If you can speak about it, that's fine. I think it's a good idea because he remembers things that I don't. And I can't speak about it because I'm losing a lot of parts that I need to be remembering because of what they have done to my memory.
Yes.
I have been having a lot of problems trying to speak. I was very fluent in speaking.
The verbal martial
As
artist.
yes, they called me a verbal martial artist for years, and all of this started happening after a while because of what he started doing to me with that machine. I had no rights. I was being violated, beaten, attacked while I'm sleeping. Um, s- as I said, I would go to sleep, and he was coming and trying to see if he can jump on the bed and push my husband off so he can have sex with me. And I because I had psychic abilities, I was able to see him trying to do that. And my husband was smart. He pushed him away quickly so that I would not end up being treated in such a manner. So, and then grabbed and held me gently, not bad. My husband has always been gentle with me. And so he just covered me with his body, and I was so happy to know that he did that. And then another time he tried to do the same thing, and I started kicking and telling, "Get him out! Get him away from here!" He's acting like a twisted man, like he has to rape people, females, and do whatever he wants to them. I'm not interested in that, and I'm not interested in sleeping around. I'm married to this gentleman, and I love the person that I'm with. I'm not interested in anybody else. I love people generally, but not to do that with. They're my family. I'm here not to play games with other people, but have fun with my husband and our children, and be there for him as he's definitely there for me. I want the truth out, and I want Nancy Pelosi to stop using Donald Trump to do the kind of evil that that is done, and allow us our right to get what is rightfully ours. So now they owe us $400 billion because of the kind of things that Donald Trump did to my body. He used that technology to move every bone in my body. And if you know what it is to have that done with that machine, it's extreme pain. And then he also started pulling my kneecaps. I just started screaming. Also, he attacked different other parts of my body, which can't really get into right now because it's just too much to have to go into. What he did also was not only attack our daughter, as I said, but he also set my husband up to get what was the problem?
Well, I ended up in the hospital, open heart surgery, because one of the valves in my heart was dislodged
because
by
of what he
Donald
did
Trump,
with that machine.
and I had to get open heart surgery because I couldn't breathe
Yes.
for an entire week inside our home. But I keep it there.
No, I want you there too.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
And speaking, the camera quality isn't very good because our own camera, which we have, is not working currently, which is not good. It worked last night when we did the broadcast, but tonight it's not working because it's been tampered with by Donald Trump on scene.
As well as boxes that we buy, and what he did was destroy them using the technology he has. And he has been doing a lot more, hon. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, the first time that you knew that he was in a home was the time when you were climbing back up onto a bed late at night and you touched the shoulder of an unseen being, and immediately through your third eye, you saw the body of this being wearing a material that was made of a synthetic texture lined with a silicone substance that we came to call cloaks of invisibility. Another time, you spoke briefly about how he was treating you as how he was using this technology to control our daughter's mind and body from the outside, like a Manchurian candidate is controlled. But they also use the same technology to go inside your body and use you as a
Trojan horse.
Trojan horse. Now, the time when Mahogany told us that she was being invaded by people who were coming into our body,
Mhm.
you decided to test to see if you could test to see if this was also being done to you. So remember the time that we're about to do a show, Scott Street,
Mhm.
and you took a bell, dinner bell, and you rang
Sure,
it.
yeah, around my head.
Mhm.
It's true.
And what happened afterwards?
I can't remember that, but I do know that I did that.
She rang the bell around her head, and within a few minutes, you noticed that someone, an unseen, through your third eye, and you told me this too, that a metaphysical being was climbing. You saw him climbing out of the left side of your body. Um, First came the left arm,
It's
then the
making a lot of
shoulder,
sense now. Yeah,
then
go
the
ahead.
head,
I remember.
and then the left foot. At the same time, on the other side of your shoulder,
Mhm.
you saw another metaphysical being or human being with a cloak of invisibility climbing out of the right side of your body. First, the right arm,
Yeah.
then the head, shoulder, then the head, and the right foot. And these
I'm
two,
glad you remember.
these two unseen beings formed what you identified as wings.
Yes.
So when she saw, when you saw that these two beings were inside your body, the body of a god, the god of all gods, without your knowledge or awareness that they were there,
Mhm.
you found that very disturbing because it told you that um, if they can do this to God, inhabit your body without your knowledge, and stay there and do or say things as if you were the one doing it, that human beings would no longer have any safety, privacy, security anywhere on this planet today, as long as this technology is in the hands of human beings who are using it as a weapon to invade the bodies of human beings unseen from inside the fourth dimension and use them as Trojan horses or use this technology as a weapon to control their minds and bodies
I'm being
as
attacked
Manchurian
right here now.
candidates.
Right here,
Yes.
I'm being attacked right now. And it's extremely painful because this is going on all through my body.
Yes.
My whole body is going through this kind of pain because of what Donald J. Trump has been doing to me, and also tried to turn my body, my husband's body, into a quadriplegic
Yes.
by using that same technology.
To create it's to cause me to experience massive stroke in the left side of my body.
His whole
My
body
left
was
hand
shaking.
up to
Legs, arms, the middle of his body. He was just like, when you take a rope and you turn it up and down. His body was moving similar to that.
vibrating,
And I had to grab him around the waist
Mhm.
in order to stop that from happening because he continued using that technology to continue hurting him. And so I grabbed him quickly and squeezed him around the waist so tight
Mhm.
that he had no choice. He couldn't get to do it anymore.
Well, you broke the surge that was going through my body to paralyze it,
Mm-hmm.
and he did that a number of times to my body, caused me to experience massive surge of energy to paralyze it in the form of stroke.
Yes.
But my body has survived these attacks, and the avatar continues to be the subject of continuous terrorization, torture, torment, rape, robbery at the hands of Donald J. Trump, especially coming into where we are and committing these federal crimes against a God and her family.
He is attacking me in the womb and the rectum
Mhm.
when I go out, even sometimes at home here, or at the beginning when we first moved here. This is what I was feeling and did not understand why that was happening, even though it happened in the streets while I was walking at different times. These are violations of the rights of human beings' bodies, and many people are suffering this plight. Could you imagine children being treated in such a manner and they can't speak about it, don't know what the dickens it is, and is scared to speak about it because of shame and disrespect that has been forced upon them?
Mm.
And people would think of them in the wrong way.
Shaming and blaming them for wrongs being done to them by
Yes.
people who they may not even know are committing these crimes against them, wearing cloaks of invisibility from inside another dimension.
Yes, all set up by Nancy Pelosi with the technology that she gave him to use, and he's been using it in all kinds of ways that is undermining a lot of people's lives and their rights.
Mm.
He lies like hell. Nancy and him went to the office here, the place that we're renting from, and spoke to them. And when by the time they were finished speaking to them and they left, we were being treated like we were criminals.
When the evidence says that they come to wherever we are, they do so unseen, wearing cloaks of invisibility.
Yes.
They can talk to you telepathically. Telepathy is the most universal language spoken in existence by all forms of beings. They speak to each other telepathically. Human beings used to speak telepathically to each other a long, long time ago and to the other life forms living here, but that ability to do so has been disconnected from their conscious mind by those who have used different methods and means to strip them of the vast amount of metaphysical wealth that they each own as immortals, living lives as members of the human race for ages now on the surface of this ancient living and planet-sized body belonging to the earth goddess known as Lady Gaia.
Mm-hmm. See this dark spot here?
Mm.
This is stuff that he's been doing now for years. I also have some at the side of my face on both sides.
Mm.
He's been putting these things on African people's faces in order to make them appear like they are something that nobody wants to see or even have to do with. I have been going through this practically all of my life. My mom told me as a baby that there were some people who came and were trying to kill me.
Mm.
Well, I can't remember the rest of the stuff, but yes, I was being tormented and persecuted in the streets and so.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I know the details, but
yes,
I don't want to intervene in
No,
you
I
trying
want
to
you
express
to.
yourself. When she was about 5 years old, staying with a babysitter who was paid by her mother to look after the avatar, this babysitter uh, held a party. She had a problem with her feet,
Mhm.
with her the vertical veins in her legs,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you would not your mom, this babysitter lady,
I see.
and she would you would take warm water and bathe the legs of this lady
Oh,
with the
yes.
vertical veins.
She asked me to help her, and then what I was doing is brought the bowl of water that she told me to bring with not hot water, but hot enough to be able to help. And so I brought it, put it by her feet. She put her feet in it, and then I started taking the water and putting it up and bringing it down, rubbing her legs as I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, she started feeling really much better, and she said, "Oh, good, thank you." And I continued doing more to make sure that she was feeling totally better. After a while, it healed her,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted me to come to a party they were having, Thanksgiving party. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it was. And so when the time came, I came down and I was sitting on the seat, and at the same time she was babysitting.
Yes.
So I was sitting on the seat, and she saw that I was becoming ill, and so she went and fixed her bed and brought me over to lie down on her big bed.
Missing part. When you were in her home
Mm-hmm.
at this party,
Mm-hmm.
a lady came up to you and she looked at you and looked at your head and said, "What beautiful head of hair you have."
Yes.
And she
Put a hand over it,
Mhm.
touching it.
Yes, she was a witch.
Yeah.
Someone is using abilities to harm. Let's say she was an evil witch as
Yeah.
opposed to good witch.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
what happened
that's why
afterwards?
I started feeling sick just
Mhm.
after, and that's how the babysitter took me and carried me to her bed and put me just to lie down on the bed and told me to rest. And she closed the door and left me there and went back and continued what she was doing. Nobody came in. And the next thing I knew I'm being attacked here.
Mhm.
Next thing I knew is, I forgot, what was I saying?
Your hair
Mhm.
fell completely off your head
Mhm.
within a matter of an hour or so.
Yeah.
Over here on the long, thick, curly, beautiful head of hair that
As soon
you
as I
had.
raised up, it dropped
Yes.
from my hair like
Yes.
a wig.
Mhm.
Only it wasn't a wig; it was my real hair.
Yes.
And I had long hair. This is just not the first time alone that this has happened. This has happened since I have been growing up. My hair has been growing very well, and people got jealous and they would look for ways in order to attack my hair so that it will, stop it from growing.
Mm.
And these are the things that was being done. So, and I was much older at that time now, but you were
Mm.
speaking about that aspect of
Okay,
it. You can go
so
ahead
in
because I
childhood,
remember.
you were attacked by someone who came into a party, saw you, knew who you were, and used her metaphysical ability as a witch or sorceress to cause you to lose all your hair within a matter of minutes, and to also become extremely ill to the point where your mother had to take you to a bush doctor.
Mhm.
He created a bag,
A goosh bag
mhm,
or gru
a
bag.
Google bag.
That's a bag that they create. They went to heal you,
Yes,
and before
different things
doctors
are
even
put.
appeared,
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
think this is what they were
Yes,
doing, and he make this gru bag and then put it over my head, and I can't remember the rest of
no,
what it was done.
told you to wear it.
Wear it over my neck.
Yes, oh, take it off only when you're showering,
Yes.
and so that protected,
Hmm.
kept you from dying from
Yeah.
this attack, and it also allowed you, gave you protection
Hmm.
from any more attacks of that form on your body by criminals working for the government, in this case the U.S. government, uh, at the time.
Hmm.
So that was one of the times that they tried to kill you
Yeah.
uh, as a baby.
True.
Um, the technology that she's speaking of, you saw this technology one night in Scott Street through your third eye.
Hmm.
You told me, Andrew Gunn, this technology that they're using, it looks like a round, golden colored,
Yes.
miniature shaped um, spaceship that small enough to fit on any round table inside any living room.
Hmm.
This was created by two men of science from the advertised birth country with information given to them telepathically by some of her brother gods. And they created this miniature spaceship as a healing machine to help Lady Gaia from dying from the attacks done to her body over the 6 years of bombings during the World War II by the 39 nations who fought in that war. So this technology being used to terrorize the avatar and to kill her mother, father, sister, brother, and another family member, to try to kill our daughter at birth, to try to kill the avatar at birth, to try to kill me inside our home at Scott Street. This same technology, this golden colored miniature spaceship that is in the possession of the US military in their Black Ops program, that is being used today for the last 18 months to by a squadron of American agents wearing cloaks of invisibility, going through the fourth dimension, flashing in and out of the fourth dimension, attacking the bodies of human beings, infecting the mucus inside their bodies, poisoning and contaminating it from inside the fourth dimension, causing them to become infected with a disease that is not a virus of any kind, nor is it contagious in ways that science is saying that it is. So this technology, it's futuristic. It does not belong on the planet, on this planet today or in the future, because human beings should not have this kind of capacity to use in the in in this dimension. And so we are asking that the US government dismantle, disable this technology that they have in their possession and stop using it as a weapon to attack this God and their family and as a weapon to infect.
He's attacking right now.
Donald Trump on
Full
scene.
shoulder.
Stop using this miniature, golden colored miniature spaceship as a weapon to infect, at this point, 227 million human beings infected with this disease created with this technology
Yeah, they call a virus.
that has been misidentified as a virus by scientists because of the particular confirmation bias. Confirmation bias. The idea that you and only you have knowledge of what is fact or fiction, truth or false, and should be given the authority to decide, make decisions about any issue in the lives of people living with you in the world in which you live. So the scientists and their confirmation bias have caused them to become blind and arrogant,
Ignorant.
ignorant to the fact to the actual to what's actually being done to human beings with a technology that is thousands of years ahead of anything that has been created by the human race so far, and which has vast fourth dimension capabilities, which has been weaponized, a lot of it, by uh, American military inside the Black Ops programs, and have used it to kill about almost 5 million spiritual mortals living mortal lives as members of the human race today.
He's saying that, but he doesn't remember
Hmm?
that Donald Trump has been trying to kill us in different places that we've been living in for quite some time.
I know that. He's he has he he tried to kill our daughter when she was born inside St. Michael's General Hospital in 1981, October 22nd, the day she was born. He came into the maternity ward unseen.
He took her up and carried her across the stuff and then dropped her. It's a good thing that I got her before he did, because they had on a loose blanket on him, like it was set up specifically to have her killed.
Mm-hmm.
And the loose blanket wasn't supposed to be like that. No, what they usually do is tighten the blanket over the baby and make so that when the mother holds the baby, the child wouldn't fall off the blanket. When I saw the blanket was loose, what I did when I was lying down on the bed with the baby, I I used some pins to make sure it was went on tight, and not too tight to hurt the baby, but enough so that the baby would be safe. And so when they came and picked her up to drop her, and they did drop her, there was one problem. Nothing was going to happen because the blanket was all wrapped around her well enough that she won't get hurt, because the head and everything was held by the blanket. So that was good, yeah. And these are the things that promised Donald J. Trump and Nancy Pelosi have been doing to human beings, it appears, because what they did to me wasn't really necessary. I did not do anything to anyone. I did not create uh, anger against anyone.
No
I
crime,
treated people
no
properly.
violation,
That's
no
what I was
harm.
trying to remember, the crime
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, nothing.
And so there was no reason for us to be treated in such a manner. We've not done anything wrong to anyone. Now kids grow up and they have little problems at times, and they have to fight or so to try
Yeah.
to block
Sibling rivalries and things
but
like that.
adults, you know what you're doing. You're protecting your family. You're there for them, and they're spending their times looking to find ways to make sure that they drive you up the wall by trying to kill your own family and treating you as if you're supposed to do what they want because they're the gods of the world. No, they're not. If they were gods, they would not be doing such evil. The devils, yes, I could agree with.
Yes. We have a number of incidents where we saw the avatar as seeing the presence and use of this technology against his family over the course of over the course of a number of decades in our lives. The same technology being used today to attack and infect the bodies of human beings from inside the fourth dimension by people in cloaks of invisibility, moving through the fourth dimension, looking like shadows, and poisoning the mucus inside the bodies of human beings. And scientists have misidentified the actual identity and characteristics of this disease. They call it COVID-19. It is not that, but
It was
because of
never
the
that. They
confirmation,
created something like that with intentions of killing out people. That's what they really were doing in the background.
the the confirmation bias that scientists hold is it's caused them to become blind to actually what's being done to human beings. And the ones who are using this technology that they stole from the Achievement of Science given to them by us to some of the Avatar's brother gods, they are they are blocking human beings from speaking about them having this technology in their possession, using different codes of silence to prevent the media from speaking about what's being done. Anyone working inside the American military Black Ops program who's aware of what's being done to human beings with this technology, they are not allowed to say anything to anyone about it. Otherwise, they will end up losing not only their jobs, losing their health, and even their lives, their families, for releasing information that is considered classified, which you're not supposed to reveal if it has been classified by government as information that should be kept hidden or from the general public. So we are speaking about classified information that is being kept private by the U.S. military, which allows them to continue to use this technology as a weapon to put the entire planet of human beings literally under siege. And as the advocate points out, the intention is to remove a third of the human population from the surface of Lady Gaia in order for the rest of us who are survived to be able to live without starving or struggling to get through our lives, because Lady Gaia's resources have been depleted and diminished over time by the gluttonous, selfish, self-serving actions and policies of governments, human beings with wealth and other agendas, depriving human beings and other life forms of the right to enjoy the bountiful, rich, vast resources provided to them by the earth goddess Lady Gaia to live on her surface as a family of peaceful, reverential, caring, upstanding beings.
They also want to have people of color become the slaves for them, so that they can have people doing all the work and they're just going around bullying and taking advantage of people. That's the kind of people they have been. This is these are the same people that tried to kill our daughter as a baby. We're proud of our daughter, and he went and he massively load her up with food as a young lady who got her body in shape and everything, and then he turns around and takes the money from her, buy lots of food and start feeding her like she's some kind of animal.
Yes, for months. He did that to
They
her
were
body.
doing it on an everyday basis.
For months, that's
Yes.
gone straight. And the body became heavier and heavier from being forced to eat junk food and fast foods that were bought with her own money by Donald Trump to make sure that she gains all this weight.
Yeah,
and
but
even trying to kill her
Mhm.
in different ways while he was under her control as a Manchurian candidate and also as a Trojan horse.
Yeah. So they force fed our daughter, and now she's working to get her body back, and it's very difficult, especially when you're stuck and don't have you want to go and get a job, and you can't get a job because you have certain things that you have to clean up before you get there, and people are spending their times harassing other people who they figure don't look good enough, or humiliating people for not being able to look according to how they decide that they should look. And when they do look very good, they get mistreated for that too. How dare you look better than me? I mean, that is ridiculous. That's not the way we are supposed to live. We are supposed to be there for each other. Anybody that needs help and they ask for help, we can help them if they would like help, as long as whatever we're helping them with is okay. Um, but we are sick and tired of seeing the kind of behavior that a lot of women and some men are behaving with. I mean, females going after another person's husband. They think they look so great, so they can do whatever they want. If you are looking better than them, they're ready to back and act like they want to beat you up for looking good. These are things that natural things that people have a right to be able to uh, dress themselves, look according to how they're supposed to look, and feel good about themselves, but not to use how they look to go and play games with another person's husband or wife. That's wrong.
Yes.
Where are we going there? We're just destroying the whole society, behaving like creeps. No, we want to say something else. Sorry. I want Nancy Pelosi to know this. You did a lot of damage to us, and you know what you did.
You're in the government.
Yes. Pay the money that you owe, and we not need the money right away, not when we get too old that we cannot look after ourselves. We need it while we are living and are strong, and we want to look after ourselves and get out of this kind of insanity, because we never liked this kind of behavior in the first place. We never treated people in this manner, and we refuse to sit back and allow others to continue treating us in this manner. We thank you very much for listening. Sorry, Han, I
no
just
problem.
realized what I said. I didn't let you finish.
Briefly, we are inviting people working in the fourth estate, the mass media, the free press, to contact this family so that we can bring our story to you, to the people, sharing game-changing information with them to show them what's been done to them by those who are using that technology that really does not belong on this planet today or anytime in the future. We are asking to be interviewed by people in the media.
Mhm.
We have a body of new, vast, compelling information, ancient truths, deep wisdom, liberating uh, information that we have been blocked from sharing with the people by those who control and own the media. I lived as Albert Einstein, as I mentioned in the last broadcast, and the avatar lived as Lord Jesus, as Lord Buddha, as Lord Krishna, and as other gods, including, as she mentioned, as um, the liberating truth that we've posted here from her, called Equals Forever, identifies her as the one who lived as Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen of England, about 400 years ago. So we are waiting and working, asking people to get invite the media to interview this couple, and we want to, if the media will not give us the opportunity to share our story, we're asking people with vision, people with passion and compassion to um, produce a documentary of the work we're doing, of the life lived by the avatar, so that it can be then given to human beings for them to view, assess, digest, and use to literally transform the world they're living in from the inside out. So we are determined to shut down this pandemic that has been manufactured. The the disease is real. People are dying. Thousands are dying. No, tens of thousands are dying every week. Hundreds of thousands of human beings are dying, are being infected every night. Sorry, every night, tens of thousands of human beings are dying, and hundreds of thousands of them are being infected with this poison mucus inside their bodies. And we are determined to bring information to you, the people, that you can use to make sure that this pandemic that has been created, manufactured by human beings from inside the fourth dimension, is exposed, shut down, and those who engineered and orchestrated this global genocide against human beings are held accountable and responsible for these massive, unaccepted, awful um, crimes that have been committed against the human race today all across the planet and against his family on a daily and nightly basis by Donald Trump comes here unseen, as you mentioned, with a cloak of invisibility
He's
attacking.
up there now.
Yes, up in,
Every now and then he attacks me to try to see if he could control me, which I cannot be controlled.
yes. So, Avatar, you want to say something else?
No, just that. Thank you for listening. I'll try next.
Mhm.
Um, we want this kind of insanity to be stopped, and we want Nancy Pelosi to pay us the money that she owes us because she has put us through hell.
Mm.
And I haven't given you all of the hell that I've been put through,
Too much
as
detail.
well as my family.
Yes.
But we do need to have that money and move on with our lives. We've suffered for a long time. Most of our lives, we have given up for health that we have been going through from Trump and Nancy Pelosi and whoever else they use to come and terrorize and persecute us. We would like to have our freedom,
Mhm.
and we need our money to get that freedom that we deserve the right to have because we've been robbed of every ounce of our time as children and growing up and even as adults
Mhm.
trying to protect and respect our children.
And live and have a livelihood and do the work that the Avatar community do, which is game changing, is and the work is to literally change the world, and that is the goal, the agenda, and the intention of this God and the other gods who are here on this planet today to make sure this is done and done the process put in place inside within the lifetime that she currently lives on this planet today as an avatar
I'm
galactra.
being attacked here right now as my
Mhm.
husband is
Yes,
speaking. And I was being attacked right through the process of speaking here
yes.
as well. It's time for us to just relax now, huh? We've
Yes.
been through enough hell.
So thank you for listening. If any of this content resonates with you in any way, we invite you to like it, to share it, and to comment on it. In the meantime, until next time.
Until next time, Nancy Pelosi, we need that money and we need it right away.
Mm.
So stop playing games. We did not do this to you. You did it to us, and you tried to set us up to be criminals, and we are not criminal um, people. We are people who love people and want to help people, not to go and sleep with everybody. There's the person I love and I do not mind being
Mutual,
with.
mutual.
And this is how I would like to see things done to protect women, men, stop hurting them and using them the wrong way. And women, you have to learn how to protect the people that you marry or you say you love, and don't hop all over the place running after another person's husband or wife, guys and girls. And it's important that we show some kind of dignity for the rights of all beings, because this is what will bring people together in a manner in which helps everyone rather than destroys them.
Mm.
Thank you for listening.
Yes.
Blessings to you all.
Yes.
And remember, we love you all.
Yes. One family.